Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Bigfoot, and thank you very much for checking out my first ever live stream here on YouTube. Hopefully everything is going well. If you could please let me know down in the comment section below how the quality is. I have gone for a relatively high bitrate, but I don't know how my internet is going to handle it. Done a few different test streams recently, and generally it has gone quite well. So I'm just hoping everything's going okay. There's going to be a bit of teething issues in this first ever live stream, so I do apologise about that, but as we do more in the future, we should hopefully get much better with a lot of that. If you haven't seen today, there was an episode of Transport Fever here on the Orkney Islands that went out about maybe 4 hours ago or so, and that was episode number 11, and we'll go over some of this stuff in that very shortly. Just as a disclaimer, this is a live stream, so it's going to be much more relaxed. Obviously my videos, I edit them a lot, and there's a lot of time that goes into that, which is good, and it makes for a much higher quality. Live stream, generally it's not going to be as polished, so I'm just warning you, if you're very much here for the quality, then hopefully things shan't be too bad, but we'll see. So let's go ahead and get started. So audio sounds good, thank you Ethmeister, and thank you Henry, both of you for checking out the live stream. Let's get into some gameplay, shall we? I do apologise if I always look over here. I've got my setup over here, so this is where I am, my HQ if you want to say, that's what I'm referring to, which is kind of cool. Anyway, let's go ahead and very quickly jump into some game capture here, if it loads up. There we have it, wonderful. So, welcome back to the Orkney Islands. So, one big thing about this, as we are doing a live stream, go and tell me what you want me to build, and I might even go and build it. This series generally has been very community driven, and that's been good, but I'm very much wanting to try and take that to the next level in this episode. In this episode, we're mainly going to be focusing on cargo. That's what I want to do, and I also want to work on some infrastructure as well. But I don't want to build too much on the mainland in terms of passenger stuff. That's sort of off limits, and I want to keep that for episodes. But I'm happy to do any cargo on the mainland or any cargo around the map. And I'm also happy to work on passenger stuff in the outer islands, because I think that's needed. We've got a lot of... It's difficult to say. We've got a lot of demand issues. We've also got a lot of train tracks, for example, here, that come down to Cleat. Yet we've not got a train on it. So there's a lot of stuff which I really want to try and resolve. How is the quality of the picture doing? Is it very pixely? Is it not bad at all? I mean, genuinely the stream seems to be holding up not too bad. Like, my frame rate is generally fine. Saying that, I've got quite a good computer, so... but obviously Transport Fever can also sometimes be a little bit, you know, a little bit shaky, so... but yeah, no, I would love to go and check out my Class 101s and see how they're doing. I think that's where we'll start, actually. I'm going to just recap, if you haven't already seen today's episode, which came out, as I said, about 4 hours ago. What I did in that was I did a variety of different things. The main area I started off with on that was to do with the cargo and moving fuel on water. So that was mainly up here in Evie. And things in Evie generally were quite successful, to say the least. Evie itself, it's getting quite a bit of fuel, but Evie's not a very large town. We have connected up to Evie and we are providing, yeah, 76% fuel, which is really good, but I've got so much potential here. We've got a massive oil well, we've also got a massive oil refinery here, so it was about time that I started shipping stuff over to our biggest, near enough, I mean, Wyre and Bruneian, these are two of the biggest towns on the map, and I was like, we might as well just start connecting them up with cargo and making easy money, and that's really how things have gone so far. So if we have a look at, first of all, the boats and see how they're doing, I think boats generally, they're a bit mixed. Right now we've got mixed success on my two cargo routes right now, so one of them is at 200,000, which is phenomenal, but then we've got the other one all the way down at 27k. As long as it's making a profit, it is good. The reason why it's not doing so well is because it's the pink line and it makes 2 stops. That's why it takes such a long journey, so we might split that up even more this episode. Really just depends on the supply and demand, because I imagine right now there's much more demand for Wyre side, but I don't know if there's enough to fill an individual boat or not. We'll have to play around with that. Then looking at the trains, the Class 101s, Ethmeister, you're very much interested in that. So this is the breakdown right now, and it's good on most of my lines, except this train line here from Brunei to Surin around the west. As we can see, the train's only got 20 passengers on it, which is really not a lot at all. So that's one thing which I'm going to look at, maybe re-downgrading the train. I mean, I don't think I actually have any more basic trains. I deleted the train depot on that line. Where have we got a train depot? We've got a train depot over here. I actually don't think I have any more multi-unit basic trains other than the 2-car Class 101, to be honest. We could maybe, yeah, I would actually have to bring in a mod, or would have to go for a locomotive setup to actually get a train working on that route. So I'm a bit disappointed in that actually, but again, we can have a look at that. We can see how things are going on in the town of Surin as well, because the connections inside this town could definitely do with some improvements. Just very quickly reading through the comments, so a little shaky. I understand that. I mean, right now I'm currently at a bit rate of about 4,400. Usually I record my videos at about a bit rate of 14,000, so that is much lower than usual, so the quality was going to be poorer, to be honest. Kind of unfortunate, but just the way it is. It's really when you're live streaming, trying to get all that up on the internet. I mean, my internet speed generally is actually really not too bad, but it can't handle ridiculous bitrate. What else have we got here? So also this game is pretty demanding, and paired with live streaming, it gets a bit iffy. Yeah, it's very true. I mean, this game, especially later game, and I was watching the Transport Fever 2 trailer actually, and I was kind of disappointed, to be honest, based on, you could tell in with the trailer some of the stuff he was trying to do. Basil, there was frame drops, and that concerns me because Transport Fever is a phenomenal game as it is. Going back to 2016 when this game came out, and you were playing a map, say, from 1900 to the year 2000, by the time you got to like 1970, 1980, you were pretty much having to do all your building on pause, which is just not fun. You don't want that. But in saying that, it does look phenomenal, and I'm so excited, and there's going to be a lot of live streams around about that when we get round to it. Ethmeister, you're suggesting, so you need to get the Class 14 for freight as a small shunter. So yeah, okay, I have used the Class 14 before actually. I'm pretty sure it is in my mod list, so that's something we'll think about. I'll maybe dip out and get some mods and bring some mods into this episode, but the big thing I want to have a look at now actually is 2 new mods that we have brought in, and they're related to airplanes. Now, we've not touched on airplanes yet, but it's near enough the year 2000, so it's something I want to do. So really what we had left was we had the medium airport and the large airport. So I've brought in the small airport permanently, which is good. So this means then that we can get this in some interesting areas. I don't really know where we're going to start off with flying, and we're probably actually not going to build any routes in this episode, but we might place some airports strategically and start to build infrastructure around them for the future. And then I've also brought in the medium hub airports, which can have up to like 9 gates or something. It's quite crazy how big it can be expanded to, but that would be really good for a city like Kirkwall in the future, or maybe even having a hybrid airport between Brunei and Surin here, and just having this as a point to connect up to really everywhere. That would be a really, really good idea. Yaks are very good planes, I would agree. 737s, I've never actually really got them too profitable, unfortunately, so we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, let's go and start off by jumping in now and doing some gaming. And by I say that, actually some building, you know, not just observing. I've started the recorder now as well, so hopefully frame rate won't be too disastrous. Where are we going to start? Well, the good thing is we've got a lot of money. We've got 8 million, which is very nice. First of all, just looking at the actual financial sheets. Running costs, for 1997, we're at 14 million, which is, again, a big increase in the previous year, another 800,000. Profit-wise, though, we made 22.8 million, so there we're looking at about a 9 million profit, which I'm very happy about, and I think there's still so much room to go. A lot of that profit is coming from different sources. It's coming from some trains which are doing well, it's coming from some cargo boats. We've got some very successful road routes now as well. For example, the fuel and crude oil down at Bury. We've also got a lot of success up here at Evie as well, which is good. And I think that's going to continue into the near future as well. We've got just so much to do, and I don't really know where to start. I think what we're going to do is we're maybe actually going to look at the boats here. So first of all, where's that boat off to? That boat is going to go round into Brunei. How is Brunei doing on its fuel service? It's not doing phenomenal. It could be doing better. I mean, 67% isn't bad, but it's because it's getting 2 cargo boats. How's the other boat doing then? Because you must just be leaving, and you're already full. So what I'm going to do, because the pink route's not doing too profitable, is I'm actually going to prevent it from stopping at this side of town. And then we're maybe going to add on an additional boat. I think that's maybe the best thing to do. Be careful with mods, many are broken and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I used to use the same mod list on every single one of my series, and that was a really good idea. But I definitely found over time so many mods in that mod list were getting broken, that this is why I've literally only got about 10 mods in this series, and I tell you, as a viewer, what mods I'm bringing in every time, which has been refreshing in a way, because it means I've actually really sat and thought about, okay, I need this mod, I need this mod. And when we brought in the boats in about episode 7 or 8, that was actually really nice, just going back through the list, seeing what is good, what is bad, and breaking things down instead of just importing like 200 mods and then just not using half of them. It was quite nice. Henry, you're saying, well, Colonel Failure, or not Colonel, I always say Colonel, we'll be doing a live stream on the 27th of the 11th about Transport Fever 2. I did see that notification. I probably will be watching that. Though come to think about it, that's on Wednesday and I'm out of office. I'm on a business trip, so I don't think I will get to see that actually. But I'm guessing that's when the non-disclosure agreement gets lifted. But we'll get a real taste, I think, for the gameplay then. If there's frame rate issues, that sort of thing, you know. But, oh, it's just, I'm going to just spend so much time playing it. There's a bit of an unfortunate situation with me going home at Christmas though. I'm going back to Scotland and I won't have my PC, but I'll talk about that a bit more later because there's a lot involved in that, and I've fortunately got a laptop. How much can the laptop do? I don't know. I'm still ironing a few things out, but hey ho. Any other interesting comments? I'll be here always, same here. I'm going to pre-order next week. Need that 25% off. I need to pre-order as well actually, and it is really nice that you're getting a discount if you've had the game before. I need to actually make that change I was going to make. I didn't do it, so let's go and jump into here. Let's go and remove stock number 2, so that's now going directly into Weir now as expected. And then what I want to do is add in a 3rd boat here, to be honest. I don't know if the supply and demand, because we can definitely add a few more trucks on here, and that's what we're going to do. Because there's definitely a lot more crude oil that I could move. It's crazy that we've only got 2 trucks right now, isn't it? Let's go and go on the crude oil. So we had 2 more trucks in there. My next concern actually will probably be this place getting too busy. And then also same along here. When we have upgraded this to a... Oh no, this is only a small. No, it is a large, my bad. So just making sure there's not too much congestion at this junction, because it is a busy junction. But with that done, that's good. Then that means then we should hopefully be creating more fuel. The production seems to be pretty steady actually, which is nice. But if we can get another boat on here, that would be perfect. So if we jump into here, line manager, we grab a boat going over to Brunei West. And I'm very quickly just going to name this. Now the reason I say and cut out now, the reason I'm going to name this route is mainly because my keyboard is mechanical and it's very, very loud. Hopefully the noise gate will not pick up too much of this. This is a cargo boat, this is a fuel type, and this is going to Brunei West is where it's going to. So that's just got our 2 fuel routes now over to Brunei. Oh, it's Evie Brunei actually. I don't know why I named it. Yeah, no, that is right, I suppose. Let's just very quickly update this. Making sure to just get my naming stuff correct. So that's Evie Brunei West, which is cool. And then we have a dock over at Wire. I don't think we have much smaller ships, to be honest, do we? That can carry fuel. I think it's only this Viola ship which we have, so let's go buy one of those for about 2 million, which is quite expensive to be honest. And let's go and stick that down there and then let that go ahead and start to run. I do expect issues on release. Yeah, I totally agree, Ethmeister. I mean, I guess in any game you're always going to have issues. For example, I've been playing a lot of the new Call of Duty, and that game had a lot of issues on release. Any game does have, and especially with Urban Games, last I knew they only had about 20 staff. I've emailed Basil once or twice before, and he's replied to me very kindly. So I was looking actually at trying to get a job there because I did games development. Funnily enough, wasn't successful. But they're very much quite a small team, so it's quite difficult to cover all the bases. And especially when you've got such a small team, there's definitely bound to be mistakes. And it's a massive game engine now, and it's such a massive game with so many features that it does take a long time to, you know, do very basic stuff. And I definitely know that as a fellow programmer myself. Anyway, having a look in here, come back over really to the fuel and seeing how things are going. Things are very busy and buddy. I mean, I can extend so much. I can really extend so much. How's our new boat doing actually over to Line S? That's something we added in the last episode, by the way. We got 4 of them. They're not doing very well at all, are they? That's a bit disappointing. I think I know why that is, though. That's probably because the buses aren't really coming to this part of town. So why don't we make that change now? And adds in an extra bus stop. So this means then, I mean, we're right beside the train station over in the town of Bury, so I don't think we need to improve connections over there, but we could definitely do with improving connections over here. So first of all, if we use our nice tool here, so the Rat White bus is doing mega successful. Very happy about that. So after bus stop number 9, what we're going to do is we're going to call in here at Albert Road, sort of going to cross over itself, but that doesn't matter. And then what we're going to do is go back up to Park Road, so that's that modification made. And then with the Long Hope Line S route, we're just going to call after number 9, and we're going to get rid of number 1. I don't know why it's not coming along this street though, that's so strange. I think I've maybe done something wrong here. Terminals, if we switch you, so these are both just on the same side. And to be honest, what we could do actually is we can move you over there. Like so, yeah, that works out not too bad actually. So that's us serving much closer to the docks now, which is good. I realise we're getting a bit of a flashing notification up the top. And yeah, it's to do with the St. Mary's oil. So we'll go and deal with that shortly. But hopefully that should mean now that we've got more people wanting to connect over to the mainland. Or South Ronaldsay isn't really the mainland. It is connected by a bridge onto the mainland, so but it is its own island, to be fair. Right, okay, coming back over here, let's start doing some more building. I'm just having a read through the comments here. At least they aren't Russian games out. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with that statement, to be honest. I do think that, say for example, like the Assassin's Creed series. The Assassin's Creed series, I feel, has just been overproduced. There's been too many of them. There's not been enough focus on quality. I think that's the same with Call of Duty as well, for example. Those games have just... they've pushed them through every single year trying to get that extra £50 or $75 off people, and it's meant that, you know, they've not developed their ideas very well, or they've not implemented stuff very well, and then it rubs off in the game, it gets poor sales. So then what they do is they try even harder for the next year, and then they get into this cycle of consistently poor games, and I feel Call of Duty has very much been like that now for the last 6 or 7 years. I've not played an Assassin's Creed now since Black Flags, I don't think, so that's been, what, 2013 maybe? So it's been a long time, so... but I guess that is the problem with series, you know? When you start earning money consistently from selling games as part of a series, you're going to want to try and sell more. And I guess a lot of companies, especially Activision, and whoever makes Assassin's Creed have probably got caught up in that stream. Anyway, I just want to actually connect and check the connections over here. They're really not too bad. People can walk down to the docks here, no problem. That boat is now left. It's only got 1 person on it. Right, anyway, we'll leave that for now. I do want to focus a bit more on moving some goods. So we have a notification here saying we need to try ship some more stuff, which I'm all very much for. So we need to move more fuel out of here, meaning we need more trucks on this route, bringing fuel into St. Mary's. What I'm going to do is I'm going to build a new road depot up in this part of the world because we don't have one nearby. So let's add one in at this junction here. And if we go ahead and buy... Let's buy quite a few more vehicles actually. Let's, build for the future. So let's put about, 4 on there. Let's add another 2 onto the crude oil route itself. Crude oil route, I'm assuming, being the crude oil St. Mary's route, which is perfect. We can actually do quite a bit of expansion in this area. So for those who don't know and missed part of the last episodes, we've got our oil well on the right hand side here. Then we've got our oil refinery, which is currently moaning because we're not moving the fuel out quick enough, hence the production is crashing. Which is good. And then we're moving that into St. Mary's, which is class. Anyway, shout out to the Leeds Massive, Neil. That's one of my my good mates from home. I mean, he's not a mate. He's a bit of a pain, but yeah. Thank you very much for checking out the stream. Your comment there, Ethmeister. Let's have a look. Sorry, I'm just catching up now. I've fallen a bit behind. Yeah, buses. I mean, you can only go so far with buses, and I definitely see St. Mary's, for example, now struggling because it's just got buses connecting in. I could do so much more here, and I feel we should maybe build a hub at the start of the town, maybe over here. We need to work out where we're actually going to build the train station, to be honest. That's probably something we should do and just have the... Oh, that sounds a very good idea. Why don't we do that? Anyway, Neil, thank you very much for checking out the stream, which is awesome. Euro Truck Simulator have the best setup, but no clue how it's still alive. Honestly, I think that game's probably still alive because of the community. Community really does a lot for that game. And I think it does have quite a good addictive factor, to be fair. You can build up your own company, so I can see why things are quite successful there. Anyway, what I think I want to do here is I want to have a 2-platform station, a through station, which we're going to build here on the edge of town. And what we're going to have is we're going to have the lines coming down from Kirkwall, and then they're going to go over to Gritley eventually. I was thinking about bringing a train into Tankerness and then continuing that round, but I kind of don't want to tear up the farm there, to be honest. So we will probably just route it via the town of St. Mary's. I realise that the section to St. Mary's is going to be so much more busier because St. Mary's is the portal down onto South Ronaldsay, with a few big towns being Bury and St. Margaret's Hope. But we're probably not actually going to get that into action for a few episodes anyway, because as I said, I'm happy to build infrastructure, but I don't really want to build too much in the terms of new routes on the mainland, because that's not really what this episode is aiming to do. I guess I start every episode really with an aim, and I try to meet that aim. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And mainly it's cargo this episode, which we started doing a little bit of tweaking here and there, though it has taken us half an hour to add on a few trucks and make a few very basic routes. But it's nice to explore the map, it's nice to relax, it's nice to, go at a much slower pace compared to what we usually do. I also find that funny actually, Ethmeister, you say there that there's no point in having a timetable as buses never arrive on time. I do think that buses, everything should just be tracked by a phone. You track the bus, you get notifications. I think that's the best bet, to be honest, because I've definitely found in the past that I just don't even look at bus timetables now. I just go onto my phone straight away and check the time. And I do that a lot for trains as well. Google API, on Google Maps, you can actually tap on train stations and it comes up with all the times, so you don't have to go into any apps, which is really, really good. And it means that when I'm looking to get the train back from work, for example, I don't have to worry too much about if I get to a station and the train's cancelled. I'll already know in advance. Okay, so the next thing we're going to move on to, I think, I've got a few plans. What we're going to do though is we've got a farm and we've got a food processing factory right beside each other. I think we should connect these two up right now. So let's go ahead and start work on this. So I'm going to have to destroy some fields. Not too happy about that, to be honest, but don't really have any other way around this, to be honest. Can I get through that gap with only destroying one field? I think we're just going to have to do something like that, to be honest. And then if we can come out the gap here and then route into there, that sounds perfect. Then where's this going to connect into? It's mainly going to connect down to St. Mary's. So what we'll do is we'll add in a road coming across from the food processing plant over to the main highway or motorway, whatever you want to call it. I did see in the Transport Fever 2 introduction, or that gameplay video, sorry, the actual having highways, you have one-way roads, which is so useful. Hopefully they actually work, because I very much have tried to do a lot of stuff with bus lanes and one-way roads in this game, but you're just so limited, to be honest. It's quite unfortunate. Anyway, let's bring everything into that junction here. This junction is going to be a massive traffic problem when this town starts to grow, but if anything, this town has shrunk, to be honest. And I do think that it could definitely benefit with having some food, which it will do shortly. Anyway, let's go and jump in and grab ourselves a few road depots. So we're going to go for a truck station. If I could hit the right button. The problem is I've got my microphone here. My microphone needs to be close to my mouth so you can hear what I'm saying, funnily enough. But my keyboard is like down here, and I generally know what keys I'm pressing, but half the time I can't actually see what I'm pressing, hence why I just closed that by accident. Anyway, let's add in a basic depot there. Let's add a larger one in here just because we might be serving a few towns from here. Let's add this in. Is this going to be a bit of a pain? I think it is, actually. We just do that there, and then we finally connect in. Wonderful, you won't let me build. Too much slope. Fantastic. Let's move this back a bit then. There we go. And then into there. Wonderful. Right, okay, so that is that built. So now let's go ahead and get a few routes on the go here. So what we've got is we've got the Tankerness grain sort of thing, I guess it is. So this is it's not a CB, is it? It's a cargo, CA we're calling them. I don't know why. As long as I'm consistent, I'm happy. So this is the CA, and this is what? Grain Tankerness. Rock and roll, happy with that. So then with that done, let's make our following routes. Let's make our routes here from Tankerness all the way down into St. Mary's, which looks good to me. Let me very quickly just name this as well. So this is actually food now by the time it's gone through the food processing plant. And this is St. Mary's. And then we need to go and have a look and see what the makeup is of the town of Tankerness. So if we close this quite late, we see the breakdown of all the industry. We're looking at food. Food is part of the blue, which is good old commercial. So let me go and actually try and get a really centralized truck depot. Let's go for that there. Only costing me 14k, which is phenomenal. And that'll serve near enough all the town actually, which is fantastic. So let's also grab a new route and let's build that back into the food processing factory. Again, naming this CA Foods, but this time for Tankerness. All good, all good. Right, so let's add in some trucks and start creating some demands. Right now, not got a lot of choice in trucks, as we know. I do need to upgrade a few routes which have the old trucks on them. So first of all, we're going to start off with putting trucks onto the blue route, onto the grain, and then let's buy 2 more road vehicles. That'll provide food up to Tankerness, and let's buy 1, 2, 3 road vehicles, and these can all go onto the one down to St. Mary's, which is good. So we'll come back to that in a second and see how that's doing. I'm expecting that to kick off and do quite well, quite quickly, to be honest, so just need to really wait now and see how things go there. Looking back over some comments right now. sink hours into this game and realize, yeah, I mean, I'm the exact same, Ethmeister. I can spend... It's quite difficult to try judge the pace of an actual episode, because 30 minutes is not a long time to actually get a lot done in an episode, hence why I've generally aimed for 30 minutes, but episodes 6, 7 and 8 were all like 45 minutes, but you lose track of time in this game because it is so much fun, and there's also so much to do, and as soon as you've done one thing you want to do something else, so on and so forth. So I very much wanted to just try cramming as much as I possibly could, and I did feel I achieved that in most cases. But yeah, it can take a very long time to do very small things, to be honest. Yeah, Henry. Well, good shout, to be honest. I mean, this has been at the back of my mind anyway. When I was doing the fuel, I was like, yeah, let's get the grain on the go ASAP. So I like how we're thinking along the same lines there. St. Mary's to the town above. You can also do fuel via short freight train. Good old trucks. So I do want to get a freight train into action. I realistically would like to do it this episode, to be honest. I mean, we're producing a lot of fuel here, and we really could get a train going down to here, because we've also got so many trucks on this route as well. If I was to sell all the trucks, I mean, this is the route that's at 2 million right now. We've currently got 17 trucks on this route, which is a lot. You know, each truck's what, 400,000? So 13 times 400,000, that's what, $5 million in trucks alone there. So I'd really like to replace that with a train, but if we break stuff down here, first of all, looking at locomotives, the locomotive I would want would be the Class 103. That's not going to happen though, is it? I mean, 124 miles per hour, phenomenal tractive effort as well, but 16 million. When have we ever had more than 5 million recently, you know? So the realistic option would probably be this, the Class 218, I think, and that goes at 87 miles per hour, relatively good tractive effort. But the cost effectiveness ratio, you know, it balances out to be this train. So I think that would be the best bet. There's a few other trains, but I mean, for example, the Class V100, top speed of 56, tractive effort is poor, so I don't really fancy it, to be honest. I mean, you are saying try it. I see your comment, Ethmeister. We could try it, and if it doesn't work, we could just sell it up. But the problem is going at wagons then, if we filter by freight here. So we're going to have to go for a tanker wagon. Tanker wagons, they cost 1 million each as well. So let's do some maths here. Let's do some maths. So currently on the route right now, we have... This is not the view I want. I want this view. There we go. So if we have a look at this here, if I center this and we go by balance. So this route is phenomenally doing well. It's currently carrying stuff in both directions. It's currently got a capacity of 200 plus 140. So the capacity right now on that route is 340. Now each of these wagons holds 15. So for me to get 340 out of the train, arguably I know it would be faster. We'd need about, what, 22, 23 wagons? Quite a lot of money. And again, so I mean, I really need at least, what, 12 wagons on the train to actually make it profitable. And I just don't have that money. I don't have 12 million, you know? I'll have a think about it. I've sped the game up as well in the background to try and generate some more money. Be nice, but we'll see, we'll see. It is a short route. You're right, you're right. Right, I'll start saving more money. And then we'll hope for the best, okay? That's all I'll say for now. But I would like to. And we make a lot of money from truck sales, to be fair, as well. But I do feel everything would crash for a bit. So I don't really fancy dealing with that right now, to be honest. But if we get some more money, we'll do it. So, speaking of St. Mary's here, while we're in the town, let's have a look at the bus route and see how it's doing. So, right now we've got a mixed fleet of buses, which, first of all, isn't a good idea. But the bus itself is very ineffective. It's having to go around the town and it's taking up lots of time and it's being very slow. That's just not good. You'd also say similar, to be honest, in Bury itself. It's probably getting really slowed down. I could add in so much extra capacity and it would solve the problems and get cars off the road. But what we're going to do instead is we're actually going to build a transit hub up here by the train station. And then we're going to build a dock as well for future reference. So if we go and go for passenger. I've not built one of these, like, I've hardly built any of these this series, to be honest, which is quite strange. Let's go and add in that there. Get that nice and close in case we need to extend it backwards. I know that cost me quite a lot of money. Actually, only 19k, so we can get that there. So that's 4 platforms there, which is good. So what we're going to do is we're going to reroute into there shortly, and then what I want to do is I want to have a harbour on this body of water to connect over, possibly to Lyoness, or we can even go over to, like, for example, don't know how you pronounce it. I mean, how would you pronounce that town name? Orfer, maybe? Kind of wish there's been a guy who you might have seen in the YouTube comments, actually. His name is Neely. It's not the Neil who just joined the live stream, it's another guy. He's actually from Shetland, so he's been really good at correcting me on a lot of my pronunciations, and he's provided a lot of useful comments, actually. He'd be able to tell me how you say the name of the town, to be honest. Trams, I definitely do think trams would be very beneficial in a few places, particularly in Bernian right now, actually, so we could have a look at that too. But yeah, so I want to just build this for now, and get it sort of safeguarded. If we very quickly, I'm not necessarily going to connect any boats into it right now, because I don't think there's much need, but if we safeguard this for the future, that would be good. So that's costing me a little bit of money there, and then if we continue up to there, and then harbour-wise, let's get our harbour in here like so, costing me a lot of money, which is unfortunate, but hey-ho. And then if we build up into there like so, 35k. So that means now that we could have another route going through the town, which I think could be a really good idea going forward, actually. And considering how busy the town is right now, we could definitely do with a point-to-point going on. I'm just thinking, do I want to connect this to anywhere? I mean, the thing is, the boat right now is just doing awful in between Lyoness and, I mean, we could really extend the buses, couldn't we? Because there's a lot of demand for people to travel in between the towns down here. So maybe we should add some more buses on. I mean, you're at a loss of 49k, which is quite a lot of money right now, to be honest. So let's add in a few more buses. And let's see if we can make that profitable. I had another thought about trying to make this more profitable, actually. I can't remember what that thought was. It's maybe to have a boat to just do the short crossover. Because I do think about Longhope a lot, because Longhope's not a bad sized town, but it's just not really been that fortunate in terms of its geography, and obviously my no bridge rule. It's a bit cut off, you know. You could argue the same with Ratwick, actually, to be honest. I don't really know what to do, to be honest. I do want to do something though. Let's continue on with the cargo up here. So interestingly, some fuels got up to here, and that's obviously en route now to Tanker Ness, which is interesting. So that lorry that's leaving, one of the lorries that's leaving, is taking 4 fuel up to Tanker Ness, which is quite cool, actually. So that's good. So that means we're going to be providing, I mean, it's only 6% food. At least it's something, but we're going to also be providing some fuel into there, which is pretty cool as well. So that fuel must be going into St. Mary's, and then from St. Mary's it must be leaving and going back up to the food depot. Quite weird, but it does mean though that we've got some goods going backwards the other way, which is not a bad idea. So just reading back for the comments here. So trams from St. Mary's to the other town. I get you, Heathmeister, I get you. Down into Bury. I'm not allowing myself to build a train, but I didn't say I'm not allowed to build a tram. I like your thinking, Heathmeister. I do. I really do. That would solve the overcapacity, wouldn't it? Oh, that's very good. I like that a lot. Problem is, Bury is just so dense, and it's such a choke point. What I need to do is I need to bring the tram right through the town, essentially, and stop it at the train station is what we need to do. What I also need to do here is I'm just going to have to bite the bullet. It's probably going to cost me a lot of money. I just need to upgrade all of this, because it's just costing me way too much. What we're going to do is we're going to pause here, and then we're going to delete and try and make this into, I don't know, one large junction maybe? I realise that's just cost me a lot of money, but I needed to change something here because it was just too much of a bottleneck. So if we make a few more changes here, run that into there, for example, then this is where things are going to get interesting. We need to upgrade this street here, but we can't, so we need to delete that part, which is fine. So if we run you down into here like so, then if we can try and draw you off there, that's not going to work. It's going to create a double junction, which is the I really don't want a double junction here. So we're just going to leave that for now, hope the AI sorts itself out. Can we actually upgrade you any more to be wider? Don't think we can. So I think what we could do is we could go for... Good is strange. Goods are strange, yeah. If you find goods on the other side of the map before... Yeah, no, I get you. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to replace that bus stop, and I think we are just going to build a tram in between these two towns. I think that's what we're going to do. So that returns that bus stop into there, which is good. So now we need to build a tram route. So now the tram route is going to end over here. We're going to build a terminus over here. I'm going to delete that for 900k. I'm all of a sudden very poor, I've just noticed. What we need is we just need a basic terminal over here, nothing too fancy. So if we go for something like that, that would work out nicely. Then let's start to do the painful upgrading. So let's go for electric. And then we're basically just going to run right down the main street. So I'm actually going to have to go back over, add the first bus lanes into this map. And then if we start to do the upgrading here, then we are not going to cover as much of the town, but it does mean there's going to be a direct connection between the two, which will be good. Hopefully a lot of this upgrading doesn't cost me too much money. There we go, that's perfect. And then after this, let's go onto a country road. 4 lanes. Don't need to do that much though. Come on. There we go, that's perfect. And then if we just continue along here, this is going to be an awkward bit actually. We're going to have to sort that out shortly. I'm going to probably have to build another bridge, I think. Then continuing along here. Then if we switch back to our city streets, build that like double there, then we should just be fine pretty much to run into our new depot. We come along here, then continue up around the back. That's then going to connect in with the train station. Because I mean, that's going to be an extremely busy route going forward. We know this because this is the main connection pretty much down to South Ronaldsay. So if we go ahead and upgrade that to electric, then that's just got our first ever tram route, which is exciting. So we're back at 1 million, which is, well, we're not back at 1 million. I wish. I think we just turned over into May there. Thing is, I mean, we can, I don't know how much trams cost. I don't even know what trams we've got, so I'll have to look at that in a second. But the first thing I need to deal with, though, is what's going on over at the bridge over here, because things are a bit tight. We delete you. And then we try and delete that small bit there, because that hung around for some reason. Then if we go to large country, I mean, it's not as elegant, but 71k really isn't that bad, to be honest. So that does the job there with another bridge, so we can get the game back running again. And we can leave it for the time being. So money is fun. I mean, I think the constraint really is hard mode. I've not done a series in hard mode before, and I've also not done a series with just such a difficult map. Like, I want to build the train over here, but I need 16 million, or God knows how much I need. Well, at what time are we going to get that much money, you know? It just takes a long time to get any of that, you know? Okay, so while we wait on some more money building up, let's see how things are kicking off over here then. And we probably should actually look at some of the negative routes and try to start to clear some debt, to be honest, because I think we've got quite a bit of it right now. A lot of very unsuccessful routes, to be honest. I mean, they're not losing too much, but I'm not making a lot on a lot of my routes either, you know? Some of them are barely profitable, so we've got quite a lot of negative routes, so let's maybe go ahead and have a look at some of them. Interestingly, we're actually now losing money on Braithwaite to Kettletoft. You know why? It's because the amount of demand up here. It's just crazy, isn't it? So what we need to do is we need to get this train up and going. That's what we need to do. Now, a class 101, 2 cars costs, what, 3.5 mil? So we can probably get this running near enough straight away. I did talk about this in the last episode, so quite happy to build it, to be honest. So let's see what we can do. If I pitch my camera up the way, let's build to there, that's fine. Then we come over the road. Now there might be 2 trains on this route eventually, but there's not going to be to start off with, so there's no need for me to double up the track either, which is good. What I'm going to have to do is make a few modifications though. So if we run that into there, we're probably keeping a really good speed consistently around that whole bend actually. The whole line's green, which is nice to see. Very happy about that indeed. I think hard mode on a normal map, not this one, would have been a great idea. I mean, I have actually really enjoyed struggling, if that makes sense though, on this map. I mean, medium would have probably been fine, to be honest, on this map, but it has meant that, you know, we have had to look at the game in a different way that we've never had to look at it before. So that mainly being, let's say, the breaking all the routes down, you know, seeing what's profitable, what's not. Doesn't mean we're revisiting stuff a lot, but it's a bit different, you know, because there's so many series I've done in the past where, you know, within 10 years we're making millions and millions and we don't have to worry. We can upgrade anything we want to upgrade, you know? Whereas this series has been different. I am thinking for the start of the next game, which being Transport Fever 2, we're going to do something totally different again. So the idea that I'm running with right now, and please tell me if you like this idea or not, is I'm going to do a small city to start off with, but I'm going to do a bay, and I'm going to do the bay of 4 cities, for example. So if you can imagine, I don't know, this whole area here, we'd have like a large city at Kettletop, large one at Braeswick, large one at Whitehall, maybe have a few more dotted around, you know, and then we just have a massive body of water in the middle. That's what I really want to try and do, and then we wouldn't do any money, so we just do total creative mode. I'd spend a lot of time focusing on the new features of the game, and then also looking at trying to get a lot of nice cinematics and stuff like that, because I've started doing cinematics in this series, which has been really good, but the unfortunate thing has been that this game, you know, we're all used to the visuals in this game now, whereas with a new game we're not going to be, and we probably can get some stunning shots. So that's what I'm thinking. Let me know your thoughts. The other constraint, as I said, is that I'm going home for Christmas to Scotland. So the game comes out on the 11th. I go back to Scotland on the 22nd of December right through to about the 7th of January, which is a long time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to on launch live stream quite a bit while making game guides for the game, i.e. how to build a map, how to do this, how to do that, because I think that'd be a really good way to help the channel grow. And I realise a lot of other YouTubers will be doing it, but I think having a few of those staple videos would help bring people to my channel, and then through series like this we can have, you know, more interaction, which I think would be a really good idea. And then what I'll do is I would then start a series, you know, a few days in after doing like a live stream city or a live stream, just 3 or 4 days of live streaming on launch. Then we'd actually start the series, the creative series, and I'd basically mass record lots and lots and lots and lots and lots. And then what I could do is I could then put all that onto my laptop and then edit at home, which would be really, really good. And I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do. But let me know your thoughts on that, and I'll again continue to share a lot of that when it comes to Discord, Twitter, this sort of interaction which we're going to be having. Yeah, so just looking at your comment, Ethmeister, you're looking forward to new aeroplanes. I'm looking forward to new aeroplanes. I'm looking forward to just new stations, if that makes sense. So the new airport configurations look phenomenal. The new port configurations, they look phenomenal. Because they're all just a bit bland. There's not much creativity. Modular stations. And then with that, excitement becomes, you know, additional vehicles as well, which is really, really cool. I'm looking forward to that as well. Anyway, we've got a bit of money after I've rambled, so let's go and get another train, and I am excited for this one. This train is surely going to do well. I mean, these cities have been connected up since about episode, want to say maybe 3, I'm thinking, if we can select the right thing. There we go. So overall I've done quite well. looking at the trains, multi-units, it's going to be, we're going to have to start with the 2-car, I think, which we can actually afford now, so that's pre-buy. Brings us down to very little money, but we're going to sell a lot of the buses, but we're not going to put the train onto the tracks just yet, because we want to reroute some of the buses here, which I think is a very good idea. So things are very busy in Braeswick. It's phenomenal how busy they are. So I'm really hoping the train's going to do good, but you've also got to realise that a lot of the demands probably in this town is actually to just get from one port to the other. It's not necessarily people all want to go to Kettletoft. I mean, don't get me wrong, I think a lot of people do want to go up to Kettletoft, but not as much as the demand. But there's a lot of demand in Kettletoft as well, to be honest, so... Anyway, let's go and start to add in some more routes here. I realise this has gone a bit off cargo, but we're sort of waiting for some cargo routes to, you know, kick in. So I'm quite happy to make the changes here. Anyway, let me go and do that. Let me just have a look at... So you are a dark grey. I want to keep the colours the same, and the reason I want to keep the colours the same is because I'm going to do a direct replacement, and then when I come to updating the individual maps, it means I don't actually have to worry about things too much, which is good. I don't have to do too much editing, which is a bit lazy on my behalf, but making those maps, it's not a 2-second job, to be honest. It does take quite a bit of work overall. Yeah, okay, I never realised that you can actually hook the DMUs together, because I know some multi-units you can and some you can't, but that's awesome you can, and yeah, it'd be great if we can get things a bit more active. Discord's been doing okay, we've got up to about 20 people over there. It's usually the same few people which post, which is really, really good. We've got some consistency there. Again, thank you to yourself, Ethmeister. But yeah, it's if we can try and continue, you know, that success, that'd be really, really good. Alright, anyway, so, continuing on. Let's go ahead and name this train. So this is going from Braeswick to Kettletoft. What I probably am going to do is I'm actually just going to get the train going, to be honest. It's not going to... Maybe going to take some pressure off the bus while I reroute and deal with the bus. While we're down here, though, let me deal with some extra road connections here. So if we go and remove, and do yes, and then we connect you down to there as well, that's fine. While we save up and get some more money, actually. And then if we connect you into there, could do a bit of terraforming. Don't have a lot of money right now, though, so we'll leave it. But generally, the sphere of influence is probably just out of range of the port, but that means then we're going to have to add in some buses and reroute a few things, which I'm very happy to do indeed. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a bus stop there. We'll have another bus stop here. And then... yeah, I'm quite happy with that, to be honest. I mean, what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to have 2 bus routes in this town. And what we're going to do is we're just going to split the buses between them, really. We're going to have one that just goes directly along the bottom, connects up the ports, and then one that goes via the train station. I think that's probably the best. Or we might just start off with the one, actually. Let's have a look and see what we're going to go for. So starting at the Grove, coming uptown to Manchester Road along North Street, and then into the Cove there. I think that works out quite well. Yeah, it's quite a basic route. Connecting the 2 ports and the train station, those are the main points in the town. So let me go and name this. This is a BU. This is the town of Braeswick. Doing well, Callum, doing well. My name is Callum, by the way, so if I say, I give myself a little prep talk every now and then, you know. And then after that, this is basically, I guess it's just the only route in Braeswick right now, so let's call it that. So the train, have you got anyone on you yet? You don't have anyone on you yet. Not overly surprised, to be honest. Let me go and start to think about what we're going to do up in Kettletoft. Interestingly, we've got some new locomotives, so I'll have a look at those in a second while we're on the matter of trains. Yeah, you have been here for a long time, Ethmeister. Thank you very much. I mean, it's interesting to know how people find my channel. I was looking back at my analytics the other day, actually, and I can imagine a lot of it was from Conflict Nerd Dylan. think he just calls himself Conflict Nerd now. He stopped following me on Twitter, actually, which I was a bit sad to see, but hey-ho. But he is a very interesting chap in the fact that he got my channel really going, and at 1 month, it must have been like, I started making videos in October of 2016, I think, on this channel. 1 month I had 18,000 views, which is just phenomenal momentum. Right now, these days, we're sitting at about 3k, which is not bad at all. The watch time's actually really, really good right now, which I'm really pleased about. I think it's because I'm actually, if I can get people onto these videos, generally the quality is quite good that they're staying around and watching a lot of it. Like, my average watch time right now is about 15-16 minutes, which is phenomenally high. I guess I've always had a high watch time, to be honest. I think that's partially just because of my RuneScape stuff as well, though. So what I'm doing right here right now is I'm building a port, and the reason I'm building a port is I want to take some pressure off what's going on elsewhere on the map, and if I very quickly build this road, you'll see what I'm really talking about. But we're going to have problems building the road because something's too steep, so we can actually get rid of a few of these roads here. So if we draw you down into there like so, then we can just connect you over there like that. And then... Nope. Right, I'm just going to leave that there. Right, okay, so what my plan is here is that in Kettletop we'll have a bus which goes from the port to the train station. Then what we'll have is we'll have boats that go from Kettletop all the way down to Whitehall and just take a bit of pressure off the Braeswick route, because right now there's a lot of one-directional traffic, and I feel that we could benefit from getting more people coming through Whitehall. So let me go and do that. Realise we're doing a lot of building right now, but this is definitely worth it, and then after we've done all this building, then we can go and start to try and make a lot of this profitable, because that's going to be one of the things which might be a bit of a challenge. Looks like at the very top, you probably can't see it, but we are looking good. We've got some passengers waiting at the station now, which is exciting. Anyway, so what is this? This is a boat. How am I naming my boats again? Okay, so we got BO. BO, this is the town of, this is going in between Kettletop and Whitehall. Bingo. Okay, right, so currently right now we have we got a successful boat route? We filter, so yeah, that route's actually doing phenomenally well. So what we're going to do is we're going to make some changes there, and we're going to add on probably 2 boats coming from Kettletop. I'm mainly going to use these hovercraft just because they're so effective, and I realise I'm using them on a lot of routes, but they're just so effective. Interestingly, while we're in this part of the world, can we improve this? 49 people. I mean, I'm quite happy to maybe add in some hovercrafts and change that up. I think that's what I'm going to do. So if we take a hovercraft, we grab this route. Let's change the replacement. We're just going to go for hovercraft because making 20,000 is not a lot of money, especially when there's demand. So we might as well. So if we go for that, let's add another one of these onto the route as well. So could actually add a 3rd one on, but we'll see how the demand goes. But now we should have a lot more kicking off. So let's go and now build a new bus route in Kettletop. Then we'll delete the bus route in between here and Braeswick, and then we can start to hopefully get the train doing successful. So how are we going to do this? We can dance around the town a little bit, to be honest. I'm quite happy to do that. We can come up here like so. Yeah, it works for me. Right, I've got my route in my head. So starting off at the train station, coming down Windsor Road, going back up to Park Lane, then coming along down to the harbour like so. Quite a basic route, nothing much to it. It covers a good portion of the town though, that's the main thing. So let me very quickly name this. So this is a BU, and this is the town of Kettletop. I don't actually know if I'm going to add 2 buses into Braeswick, to be honest. We'll have to wait and see. Right now though, we've got our route here, which is not doing very well. It's horribly negative. So what we're going to do is we're going to start to change some of the buses off this route, and we're going to start to place them on to my other route instead. So let's transfer 3 buses into Kettletop. Maybe let's do a fourth, actually. Let's do a fourth. If we could do that now, please. So that's Kettletop sorted, and that should solve some problems there. Then if we come all the way back down here, we can start to move the remaining buses onto our new bus route down here. And then that's us broken up that route nicely. And hopefully all parties should be making money. I mean, as long as we're not losing money, or as much money as we are, I mean, we're losing what, like 70k, which is just way too much. I'm happy to lose 10k on like single routes if it's helping out other routes, you know, but surely now that's got to make a difference. So we can get rid of this grey now. Let's actually kill this route. And there we go, that's it gone. So, how is the train going to do? We sort of just need to wait for all these buses to now get into their new routes and see how they're doing, and then we need to get back to that tram, don't we? I'm just doing so much right now, it's unreal. So, we'll come back to this, we're going to go sort out down south, and then to be honest, we'll probably call it... What, we've been live for an hour already, jeez oh. Quite good going to be fair though. What we'll maybe do is we will go and... Oh, I don't know. Might do some more goods. Depends how we feel, Right, coming back down here though. How are we doing? So, I want to see how we're doing on the food and how we're doing on the fuel here. I've got a lot of routes in sight, so let's zoom in a bit more. That's a bit too much. There we go, so. Grain, not doing very well. Very bad. Food to St. Mary's also doing very bad. Why is this? Are we just not producing a lot? No, I mean, we're really not producing a lot, are we? Why is that? I mean, so one of the things is that in St. Mary's we might be in the total wrong part of town. Yep, we're beyond in the opposite wrong part of town. So let's make that amendment right now. Let's go and quickly add in a goods stop over here. And then we're going to reroute stuff over here. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to place this very tactically. So much so that we can get an extra road out here. I don't necessarily want lots of trucks and lots of trams on the same road. So what we'll do is we'll build a back road, which will connect into there. And that means then that... I don't know which way this stuff's actually going to come in, to be honest. It'll probably overlap anyway, whatever I do. So let's go and leave it like that. And let's just reroute it. Because I think that's probably why things are doing really poorly. They're going over to an industrial area, which doesn't really have much interest in food, to be honest. And instead needs to go over to the commercial, which, don't get me wrong, this isn't perfect. But if we get maybe this to actually stop at a bus stop here, like the green for example, then that there should provide enough. And I'm quite happy with that setup, to be honest. We can also actually have it stop there. But let's do that in the correct order. So let's stop there. And then things might not even need to go into St. Mary's Halt, but hopefully that should make a bit of a difference, make things profitable. Outside of that, we've got negative on the trucks, which are providing the grain or the livestock, you could say, into the food processing plant. That's also negative. If we're just coming back and having a look at this here. But I think now with that change, with the trucks going down to St. Mary's, I'm hoping that won't be, because surely there's going to be much more demands now. What we are also going to do is I'm just going to move one of these trucks over to St. Mary's, just because 32 seconds is way too frequent, even for a such a short journey, and the change has been made. Okay, I'm happy with that. I'm generally happy with that. We could do a bit more, to be honest. Yeah, we definitely could, but I think I'm quite happy. How's Tanker Nest doing? So it's at 100% food, rock and roll, and it's at 8% fuel. So it is definitely taking some fuel, which is good to see. Can't complain there. It's still going to be making us money, which is good. How much money? So, I mean, currently we've only got 2 trucks. We're making 37k, basically. But all in all, I'm quite happy with that. Yeah, you find me through Dylan. Yeah, I'm not surprised. I think a lot of people did find me through Dylan. If not, it's probably just been luck for YouTube search or suggestions, to be honest. Those are the 2 ways that I feel that I was getting people. Me and Dylan, I'm not in any sub-box anymore, so that's definitely taken a hit on my channel. And then, well, I mean, we're not working together anymore. We used to work together on the same Conflict Nerd family, and now that is no longer, so... but good. And it's also nice to hear the stream is also stabled up, which I'm quite happy about. We're into the year 2000 now, though. That's quite exciting. Okay, anyway, so jumping back to the trams, because the trams are needing to be put in. We've built the line. Interestingly, I would maybe say the bus stops are a tiny bit emptier than they once were, but let's go and build this tram line and get some craziness going. It's been about time we actually built a tram line, to be honest, and I'm glad we're finally doing it. So let's stop once in St Mary's. I don't really want too many stops, to be honest, because it's just going to clog everything up. So let's stop twice in town, and that's it. We'll stop once at Church Street, which is quite central, once at York Road, and then we'll call back up at the Grove. And it's not realised it's a tram route, so it's not, or the bus stops here are a bit muddled up. You have to sort this out quickly, so we throw 8 over to number 2. Is that how it works? Nah, other way around. So 1 goes to 2 and 8 goes to 1. There we go, rock and roll, that's that sorted. So all we need to do is now get trams onto there, which we'll do pretty much straight away. And what we'll do is see what trams we have, because I don't really have a clue what trams we do have, to be honest. If we go into a tram depot, the first of the series, let's go and grab and see what we've got. So not a massive choice, but hey ho, we've got the Mirages, which are not a bad tram at all. So let's go and load these up. We're going to have to buy quite a lot of these. Obviously, we're about to sell some buses, though, so I'm not complaining too much. So let's get you guys out. I realise I need to name that line, which we'll do. So this is a TR, and this is in between the towns of Bury and St Mary's, which is cool. Definitely mucked up the spelling there and the encapsulation, but I'll deal with that at another time. Voice break there. Thank you very much, Henry, for checking out the stream. Hope you have enjoyed it. Have a good sleep, and I'll hopefully catch you again in the future. Right, okay, so that's us now starting to make that change. Obviously, that's going to eat away quite a bit of the bus, though. That's my only concern. I just kind of want to connect this harbour up so we can have a new internal route in St Mary's. That's what I want to do, to be honest. Not too worried about what's going on in Bury right now. Everything's in the one location, so we'll have maybe a small... I mean, the tram will probably cover the town fine, to be honest. It'd be interesting to see actually how the train's doing now. So it's nearly full again, which is good. How are we doing profitability-wise on the trains? We come off of this and then we look at trains. So generally not too bad. Even the yellow train at Brunei and Surin West, that's actually in the profit now, which is awesome. But it is looking like Kesseltoft isn't doing too great. So well, we've put trams on here now. So what we'll do is we'll leave this for now and we'll come back to this shortly. What I will do before I do disappear back up to the top of the map, though, is the bus route we're looking at right now. Why don't we sell a few of these buses? Just so we can make some extra cash. So we go and make that sale. We're up to 3 million, so at the back of my mind I'm thinking, can we get a train on here? Yes, I think we can. While we're actually here, I know I'm about to jump away and I cut back. We did get 2 new locomotives, I think. Class 185. Nice train, too much money, and then we got the Class 246. That's not bad at all, actually. It's still a bit much, but it's probably a good half and half, you know? I was thinking about the Class 218 before, but this train definitely seems better, but it does cost 5 million, so I'll have to save up my pennies, which I'm not doing too well, to be honest. Yeah, I know, it is a great selection, isn't it? Yeah, we'll see. I'll come back and remove some more buses shortly. Just wait until the demand teethes around. Anyway, coming back up to here and looking at the boat at Surin. Wow, this is doing fantastic. 97 people want to travel on this. how are things doing here actually? So the routes that I can see from here, the boat is doing phenomenal. We can definitely add quite a few more on, and we'll do that now. How's the train doing? Because we could always upgrade one of these trains to a larger capacity. Because if you guys are full constantly, which it looks like you probably are, actually, maybe it's not full both ways, so we'll leave the trains there for now. And we'll not worry about it too much. The bus inside the town, actually, it's not doing too bad either, to be honest. I mean, I could definitely optimize the route. We could definitely optimize the route. I might get rid of the last stop, to be honest. There's also 7 people on the bus already, though, which is not bad. But yeah, let's get some more boats in here. So let me order, what, another 2 to do the rat nest, 2 Surin route. And off you guys go. Hopefully that can maybe break 1 million. And things are very busy over here as well at Eddie. Going both places, to be honest, though. Let me have a look and see how things are around about here. So the bus in Eddie's not actually profitable, which is a bit disappointing. Then we've got our 2 boat routes, which could just do with more boats, to be honest. I think that's the bottom line. They're doing quite well financially. So let me grab 2 more boats. For each route, I think we're going to go for a bit of a large expansion here. Try and future-proof the routes a bit, you know, it means you don't have to come back here as frequently. And let's get 2 on the Egglesey as well, so hopefully that'll clear the backlog out here. It means the frequency for boat routes is really, really high actually, but I can't really complain there. Right, the live stream might have just crashed. I've got buffering on my end actually, which is quite strange. Let's have a look and see, shall we? What is going on right now? There we go, I think it's all good. So I do have my live stream over on my... I've got my computer and I've got my laptop, so I'm watching it on my laptop, just in the background. It says we're down to 1 viewer, which is not right either. I don't think, because I'm pretty sure I'm that viewer. Yeah, I just lost 2 viewers, which isn't good. So I don't know... Let me just type something. I think it's all good, I think it's all good. So anyways, those boat changes, hopefully it will do the job nicely. Anyway, coming back up to here, we got a lot of demand for the train. Not surprised at that in the slightest, to be honest. How's things doing over here? So the buses in Braeswick aren't doing very well. Some of them are quite full though, to be honest. So maybe again that's just initial teething problems. I mean, they're all quite busy. So the train's doing really, really well. Not surprised at that though at all. So currently got 82 people waiting there, and I'm already going to just do it. I'm already going to bite the bullet. I'm going to upgrade the train to a next configuration, which is the 3 car. That's going to cost me about 1.5 mil, I imagine. Oh, only 1.13 mil, so that's not too bad. Don't have enough money for that, though, which is a bit of a problem, unfortunately. So, there we go. The live stream looks to be doing good again. Yeah, I think live stream maybe went down and went back up again, I'm not sure, but I got the right number of viewers again. Which is good. So yeah, quite happy indeed. Right, anyway, if we got enough money now, we do have enough money, so let's make that change, and again, that should be really successful going forward. How is things going on over here then? We've got a bit of demand, which is good. How's the bus in Kesseltoft doing? How's everything doing in Kesseltoft generally? Hovercraft doing not too bad. Buses aren't doing very well though. Bit disappointing. But maybe with the higher capacity train there might be more people now connecting, which is good. So yeah, we'll have to see. Interestingly, things looks like they've crashed over here at Braeswick Whitehall. It probably means now that less people want to travel on that because they can go directly to their destination. We have 3 hovercraft on there right now. 9, 10 and 12. I'm actually really tempted to sell one of these because I know that's going to drop. So what I'm going to do is I've just sold one for the time being, and we can always add it back in at a later stage. Okay, so I think we've done the upgrades we needed to do up here. I'm quite happy about this. So things, don't get me wrong, on the buses internally in the towns could be a little bit better, but I'm quite happy to leave this for now, and we'll come back and check on this at the end of the live stream. Outside of that, there's so much more we could touch on. I'm just having a think. How's things doing over here? So Grobster, your fuel's doing well, and I can see that. And then Whitehall, your fuel's also doing well, I can see that. So much fuel to export from here, but there's not much need, to be honest. What I am going to do though is I'm going to sell some trucks on all of the routes, and then what we're going to do is we are going to upgrade the trucks. As you can see right now, for example, I've got 100% going into Grobster, but a lot of these trucks right now are just a bit old, so we can probably condense this operation down into 4 trucks. And then do that upgrade for another 1.35 mil. I'm starting to realise that I'm not going to get a train, unfortunately, on down in bloody St Mary's, that cargo train. I'm just not going to get things going down there. I don't have enough money. I really am struggling a bit for money, to be honest. I mean, things I think are on the up generally, but they could be better. Anyway, what's going on over here? Because things are looking a bit busy. So, first of all, boats. Can't seem to see any boat routes. There we go. Right, so things are going well. They're not really going well at all, are they? So first of all, why is that? Is it because we need to get more stuff down to the harbour? Probably. I mean, the thing is, we've got 2 boats back to back, which isn't good. Can we upgrade this? Yeah, we can add more terminals, which I'm gonna do shortly. Once that boat disappears. So what have we got? I mean, we've got Brunei West just isn't doing very well, is it? So I'm tempted to just axe that, to be honest. It's losing me quite a lot of money, actually. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to sell you up. That was ambitious, I think, that route, to be honest. But hey-ho. And what we're also going to do is we're going to have to get rid of this route now, because it's probably not going to do too successful either without a cargo supply. So if we go and jump into the route itself... and then vehicles. We got 1 vehicle actually. Let's sell you. And then if we go into this menu, it's actually making a little bit of money, that, but the boat's just not being successful enough, and I feel it's probably taking away from other routes as well. Anyway, how's here doing? So we need another truck to probably transport stuff down as well to Evie, or the port, sorry. So if we get another one onto the... Oh, that's a problem. For some reason, I'm now not stretching over to... Oh, there we go. Maybe I have to actually see the routes. I mean, things are very, very busy here. And again, we could have possibly a small railway line at some point. I'm not really at all sure. But financially, yeah, it's a bit up and down. I mean, let's look at the time, or the finance sheet, sorry, and see how things are doing. So when we looked at this earlier on, it was about 1990... What? 6, I want to say, and we're at a profit of about 8 million in total. Now, looking at the running costs, we're up to 16.8 million, and income we made 23.9 million, so our income's down. Our income's definitely down. We've not really been making much more income, but our running costs have been going up quite considerably. Arguably, yes, recently we have made a lot of new purchases, and we've also done a lot of rerouting. But for the time being, I think... yeah, I think things are just very, very busy, indeed. How are the boats doing overall? Boats overall are doing quite well. Interesting to see actually all the boats in sight are using the same boats. If we take this off generally, we can see that... We can get rid of you now. All the boats are doing good. All the boats are in the profit. I mean, these 2 fuel ones now hopefully should get a bit busier round about Evie, or coming out of Evie anyway. But we'll continue to have a look at it and see how things go in the near future. Right, next up, let's go back down to the bottom of the map, and then we'll probably wrap up the live stream there. So, 161 fuel, that's quite a lot of fuel if you ask me. So I think we can probably extend the operations here. I'm more interested though in, first of all, how the bus and tram routes are now doing. Are they eating at each other? I mean, they are eating at each other. The tram's actually in the profit, as is the bus, which is good. Tram's doing generally quite well. Not surprised at that in the slightest though. What I think we're probably going to do is we're just going to bite the bullet, take the crunch, and we're going to just get rid of the bus routes and then buy more trams. I think that's my best bet, to be honest. So let's jump into here. 78k, it's not a like amazingly successful route as it is anyway. Then with the trams, I'm going to change the colour back to that sort of peachy orange like so, which is good. And then finally, if we go and... oh, we got Cobras, even better. We got Cobras, fantastic timing. So let me first of all go and sort out the capitalization in this name because it's really annoying me. Marys, like so, awesome. And then let's upgrade to Cobras, which is good. So that gives me a bit more capacity. They can also go a bit more faster as well in between the town, which is good. It's going to cost me 700k. Quite happy to pay that. And then let's buy quite a few more Cobras now. Let's buy another 4 Cobras because we really need to flood the connection between the two towns. Just because now we don't have a bus to rely on, so we've got to get people moving a bit better. A lot of people waiting at York Road, for example, and we will build a bus around this town at another stage when we get another connection in the town, but right now we don't have that, so there's not much need. We've got 2 stops in Buddy as well, which are quite busy, so I'm quite happy with that, to be honest. We don't need to have any more stops than that, because I don't want to have too much traffic jams. And I mean, this junction here is so much better. Even though we spent a good, what, 1.5 million on it, it looks so much better now, which is good. Anyway, Eathmeister, what are you saying now? So, progress has gone really well. I would agree, we've actually have done quite a lot this episode. Need a cargo train there. I get the class 14 for short freight hops very soon. I'm just so torn right now, to be honest. I mean, I just don't have the money. I don't have the money. I also want to get the train going down to Cleat as well. I mean, that was supposed to happen at some point. Not really. Look at all my trucks. Jeez, oh. Interestingly, a lot of these trucks are not coming back with a lot of fuel. I mean, that makes sense though, because the fuel's been distributed amongst 30 other towns, so... and that's probably why we need to get the train into action sooner rather than later, don't we? Ah well. Okay, I'm just trying to think what we need to do next. I mean, the final thing I really want to focus on is all this goods around about here. If we try and make them a bit more successful, then that would be a good idea. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to do something quite odd. I'm going to upgrade this. Can't upgrade this to 3 platforms. I don't actually need 3 platforms, to be honest. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do something special. So first of all, let's go back to this view and see how all our cargo routes are doing. So, fuel's generally doing really well. It's doing phenomenal going down to St. Mary's. The food still hasn't picked up, which is frustrating. Things are a bit busier there though, generally, but production is quite high. So, I mean, we've actually got profit with the food now going into St. Mary's, which is good. The problem is we're not profitable on the moving of the grain. Disappointing that. Is that because we've got 3 trucks? We don't need 3 trucks. I mean, I reckon those 3 trucks will be filled once this upgrade is due at the farm. And then up to Tycoon. I think Tycoon just struggles because it's quite a small town. So I don't think we can really do too much about that. What I want to do now is we're going to do something a bit different. So... just having a look at some comments here. So, need a cargo train, get the class 14. I'll have a look shortly again. Trains just aren't cheap. It's unfortunate, they're really not. Will I make my own custom map? I don't know if I'll make my own custom map, to be honest. Probably not to start with. But I'd love to cover some more Scottish islands, for example, to Shetland, or maybe even the Isles of Scilly. That would be quite cool, and I know that's in your part of the world, Eathmeister, so I'd quite like to do another island archipelago though. I really enjoyed it, and I think as well with a lot of the new features in with the upcoming Transport Fever, I think it'd be really good to do an archipelago. Again, doing that bay idea, having that mixture of water, I think would be really good going forward, so I'm looking forward to that a lot. Right, so what I want to do is I actually want to return fuel, so we're bringing along a lot of crude oil. along from what's going on over here at the oil well into the oil refinery, and then coming backwards, there's nothing. So we can bring stuff back, and then we can have some extra trucks coming up to Gritley. I think that would be a really, really good idea. Do apologise, I'm just checking my phone. I just had a missed phone call from my girlfriend, which is not good. I'll just see what she's up to. She's now calling me. I don't know if she knows I'm actually live streaming or not. Anyway, right, so what we're going to do is we're going to continue on here, and let's add in ourselves a depot. So we've got a truck station. Where are the... So I think we can actually get a nice truck station right wedged in. Hold up, sorry, I'm really getting distracted. I'm going to put my phone down. Nah, right, she just wants a general chit chat, so she can have a general chit chat later on. Right, so what we're going to do is we've got this built in here. That's actually right beside both commercial and the residential, which is awesome. So let's go and build our final route, I think, this episode, to be honest. That's then going to come along to the Gritley Halt here. This is then going to be this is a cargo, so CA, this is fuel, and this is going into Gritley, which is awesome. So with that done, we can now get a lot more trucks in and around this area, providing us a bit more. And then we're going to summarise, and I think we're going to wrap it up there, ladies and gentlemen. So let me get, say, 2 trucks going along to Gritley. That means then that at least some of these lorries that are coming back, providing the crude oil, can actually carry some fuel. Probably should mean then we make more money on that route, which is awesome. So then let's add 2 more onto the crude oil, and that then brings us to quite a good stage. So the final thing I want to do now really is just summarize and see where we've come. As we can see now, we're really getting a lot of food now being produced, which is phenomenal. Maybe add an extra truck or 2 going down to St. Mary's while we're at it in this part of the world. So I know what I'm going to do at the start of episode. So what I need to do for this episode is I really just need to summarize it. So that's what I'm going to do after this. I'm going to get some food, then I'm going to start work on episode 13. We're going to summarize things. Then what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start building train stations in all the towns here on the mainland, and probably draw out the railway lines actually, and just basically make sure that all the towns on the mainland have their train stations built in good parts of the town, so I can really get a good start to things in the near future. And then it's just hopefully trying to save up enough money to actually get trains to go on them, to be honest. That's really where we're gonna stumble over. But I'm gonna let the game run a bit as well, and especially now that we're making a decent amount of money, things should be okay. We're not doing very well going down to Cleat here, are we? And this is quite a basic route. Right, okay. I mean, I think generally there is the demand. Maybe there's not. What we're going to do is we'll sell one of the trucks. And then what we'll do is we'll add some replacements, because those are some old trucks, the old man trucks. So let's then go for the replace, and that'll cost me another 600,000. Wonderful. But there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. All in all, I think things have gone quite well. We've live streamed for an hour and a half, so I think I'm pretty much going to call it quits there. How are we doing now? We'll wait until the year ticks over and see how we're doing financially, but I know around about this area now, we're doing much better than we once were, which is good. So as we can see here, generally the tram's doing really good. It is up at 250k profit. Then we've got our foods going up to St. Mary's, or down to St. Mary's. 166k, that should break 200k quite shortly, just because we've added new trucks in. The grain route's now in the profit, which is good. We're moving quite a lot because we're just about to upgrade production, or I'm hoping we will upgrade production, though I'm not really seeing much signs of it. No upgrade scheduled. So that means it's as big as it can be. Because if not, we can add a mod on to obviously change that, which I think would be quite a good idea. And then up to Tycoon. Tycoon isn't going to be successful for a while. And the reason for that is mainly just because things are I don't know, they're just chundering along slowly, I guess you could say, up in Tankernes. Same will probably be with Gritley as well. These two towns are probably shrunk, they're very isolated, they're at the end of individual roads. Gritley's only got a population, for example, of 61, so it's not going to take much to fill up the fuel on that route at all, is it? When it eventually does kick in. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap up this live stream, so hope you have enjoyed it. It's been really enjoyable actually doing a live stream for the first ever time. I'm definitely happy to do it again. What I'll do in the future is definitely advertise it a lot more and then also get people's ideas on what times. Unfortunately, over the next 2 weeks, I'm incredibly busy. I have to do a lot of mass recording just because I'm back up in Scotland. I've got people coming to see me. I'm away at work on conferences and stuff. So it does mean that unfortunately there won't be a live stream probably for quite a while. But hey ho. That's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. So, but outside of that, we can go and get the series pretty much wrapped up. We're not 100%, we're not too far off it, to be honest. We're probably about 5 or 6 episodes, so we just need to try and get all that in before the new game does come out. Anyway, finally, for 2001, running cost 17.4 million, income was 25.7 million, so we're back at that 8 million gap now, which is good. And then hopefully we can then make it even larger in the future. But we'll have to wait and see about that, ladies and gentlemen. I'm wrapping this up here, so thank you very much for watching all. My name is Bigfoot, and I'm out.